Good morning to one and all present. I request you have a notebook and a pen to copy down the important point from this presentation. Today in this presentation we are going to have a explanation part on the chapter number 5, major domains of the earth. In this chapter we are going to see what are the 4 major domains of the earth, right? In the topic number 1 we are going to have explanation on lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, biosphere, the domain of life, and lastly, finally we are going to do the exercise of this chapter. So moving further, in this tool, you have to make a note point wise, and whatever the homework part I will tell you, please write it down in your notebook. Let's proceed. Here, in this image, you are seeing about atmosphere, biosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all are matching together. When atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere comes in contact at one place, so biosphere is there, and the life is possible. That means air, land, and water, right? So that is biosphere. That's why life is possible. Moving further. As you have read in the first chapter, the earth is the only planet which is having light. And the reason why the earth is having the light, already you are knowing, the availability of the life supporting system is present on the earth. That is the land, water, and air. Okay? Next, human being can live here because the life sustaining element of land, water, air are present on the earth. Just as stated now, land, water, and air is present. The surface of the earth is complex zone in which 3 main components of the environment meet, overlap, and interact. In that image, whatever I am showing to you, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere, they are meeting, overlapping, and interacting. That's why biosphere is there. The solid portion of the earth on which we live is called as lithosphere. So the first point here we are talking that lithosphere. The solid part of the earth is called as lithosphere. Next, the gaseous layer that surrounds the earth is the atmosphere, where oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and the other gases are found. We are going to see the composition of this atmosphere in the upcoming slides. Next, water covers a very big area of the earth's surface, and this area is called as hydrosphere. The sphere of the water is known as hydrosphere. Hydro means water. The hydrosphere comprises the water in all its form, that is ice, water, water vapor, and the biosphere is the narrow zone where we find land, water, air together, which contain all forms of life. Next, first we are going to see lithosphere, the solid part of the earth, right? The solid portion of the earth is called as lithosphere. It comprises of the rocks of the earth crust and the thin layers of the soil and contain nutrient elements which sustain organisms. There are the 2 main divisions of the earth's surface. The larger landmass are known as continent, and the huge water bodies are called as ocean basin. Remember, first is continent, second one is the ocean basin. All the oceans in the world are connected with one another. Next, look at the map of the world, figure 5.1. All the land mass is connected with each other. In that, we are going to see about the oceans are also connected. The level of the sea water remains the same everywhere. Elevation of the land is measured from the level of the sea, which is taken as a 0. The highest mountain peak, already we are knowing that is the Mount Everest, and the height is 8,848 meters above the sea level. The greatest depth of 11,022 meters is recorded of Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. Could you imagine that the depth of sea much more than the highest point? Next, This is the image, this is the world map. In the world map you are observing this image are taken from the textbook. From the textbook the map is given, figure number 5.1. In that all the continent you are observing, right, and oceans are also there. So this map is very important. 2 times in the paragraph wise it is asked, look at the map number 5.1. So this is very important. You have to see this map carefully, the continent and oceans of the world. Next, we are going to see all the continents first. So the continents are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. Right? Again, as per the map of world, figure number 5.1, we are seeing the greater part of the landmass lies in the northern hemisphere. Next, step by step we are studying. First, Asia. Asia is the largest continent. It covers 1/3 of the total land area of the earth. The continents lie in the eastern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent, and Asia is separated from Europe by the Ural mountain on the west. The combined landmass of the Europe and Asia is called as Eurasia, because the two continents are connecting at a one point, Europe plus Asia, that is going to be called as Eurasia. Europe is much smaller than Asia. The continent lies to the west of Asia. Arctic Circle passes through it and it is bounded by the water bodies on the three sides. Right? Then Africa. Africa is the second largest continent after Asia. The equator or zero latitude runs almost through the middle of the continent. A large part of the Africa lies in the northern hemisphere and rest of in the southern hemisphere. You will find that when you will observe again the figure number 5.1, the continent through which the Tropic of Cancer, the equator and Tropic of Capricorn passes. The Sahara Desert, the world's largest hot desert, is located in Africa. The continent is bound all the sides by the ocean and seas. Again, by seeing the map, you will identify the longest river Nile flow through the Africa. Notice where the equator tropic. This is the map work. By reading the map, you can locate and label the particular thing with the help of your pencil. Next, North America and South America. North America is the third largest continent of the world. It is linked to the South America by a very narrow strip of the land called Isthmus of Panama. The continents lie completely in the northern and western hemisphere. The three oceans surrounding to this continent, and you can name this ocean by seeing the map. And South America lies mostly in the southern hemisphere. Which two oceans surrounded to it on the east? This is the map part. You please do this one. And the South America has the world's largest river, that's the Amazon. Australia and Antarctica. Australia is the smallest continent that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. It is surrounded on all sides of the ocean or the sea. It is called as an island continent. So, Antarctica completely lies in the southern hemisphere. So, in the upcoming, we are going to have the question, which are the two continents which are entirely lying in the southern hemisphere? So, the answer will be Australia and Antarctica. Right? Next, the South Pole lies almost at the center of this continent. As it is located in the South Polar region, it is permanently covered with a thick ice sheet. There are no permanent human settlements. Many countries have research stations in Antarctica. So India is also having the research station here, and the name of there is the Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. Right? Now we are going to see, after lithosphere, we are going to have the discussion on hydrosphere. What is hydrosphere? The earth is covered with the water. That's why the earth appears blue. So why Earth is called as blue planet? Because 70% of the Earth is covered with water. More than 71% of the Earth is covered with the water and 29% is with the land. Hydrosphere consists of water in all its form. So by this thing, one question will be there, why Earth is called as a blue planet, which we already discussed in the chapter number 1. As running water in the ocean, rivers, in lake, ice, glacier, underground water and the water vapors in atmosphere all compress the hydrosphere. More than 97% of the Earth's water is found in the ocean and it is too salty for human to use. A large portion of the rest of the water is in the form of ice sheets and glaciers or under the ground, and very small percent is available as a fresh water for human. So it's being a blue planet, we face the shortage of water. So here is the point, we should not waste water because there is a water scarcity. The available water which we can use, that is in a very less amount. So we should never waste water or exploit the water. Next, this is your homework part. Please see it properly. In this, you have to count the square given in the figure 5.3 and answer the following. Right? After that, you have to name the largest continent, and B part, which is larger, is Europe is larger or Australia is larger. You have to count the squares. These are the squares. After counting the square, you have to compare the P with Europe is larger or Australia. Okay? Suppose this part, see here, Australia, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 squares are there, right? Like that we have to count first of all. And then Europe and Australia. Europe and Australia, which is the larger one. Like that we have to write in the textbook only. Next, oceans. Oceans are the major part of hydrosphere. They are all interconnected. The ocean water are always moving, and the three chief movements of the ocean's water are the waves, the tides and the ocean currents. Here we are seeing the waves, the tides and the ocean currents. Next, the 5 major oceans are there. That is the Pacific Ocean, second one Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean. In order to their size, again you have to refer the figure number 5.1, that's a world map. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. It is spread over 1/3 of the earth, and Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the world, lies in this Pacific Ocean. And Pacific Ocean is always circular in shape, Asia and Australia. Next, the Indian Ocean is only the ocean named after the country. The shape of the ocean is almost triangular in the north and bounded by Asia, in the west by Africa and the east by Australia. The Southern Ocean encircles the continent of Antarctica and extends towards the northward to the 60° south latitude. The Arctic Ocean is located within the Arctic Circle and surrounding with the northern pole. It is connected with the Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of water known as Bering Strait. It is bounded by the north coast of the North America and Europe. So finally we are seeing 5 oceans and their connection with the land mass, that means a different continent. Where they are lying, by seeing the world map, you can have a clear picture on this particular topic. Next, we are going to see atmosphere. If we are taking our palm and if we are shaking like that, so we are feeling the presence of air. Okay? So presence of air from our ground level up to the sky. Space, there is a huge blanket of the air is surrounded to the earth. That is called as atmosphere. A huge blanket of gases is surrounded to the earth, that is atmosphere. and we are going to see about the different layers of atmosphere. The earth is surrounded by the layers of gas is called as atmosphere, and the thin blanket of is an integrated and important aspect of the planet. It provides us with the air we breathe, protects us from the harmful effects of sun rays. The atmosphere extends up to the height of 1600 kilometers. The atmosphere is divided into 5 layers, and the layers are here. First, we are having troposphere, then stratosphere, then mesosphere, then thermosphere, and lastly we are having the exosphere. The diagram is placed in your textbook. Your job is to draw that diagram in your notebook, right? Let's see this diagram. In this diagram, we are seeing the layers of atmosphere. So please observe very carefully where is troposphere, then stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Tropo, strato, meso, thermo, and exo. Right? When you are drawing this diagram in your notebook, you have to make a rectangular box. After that, you have to divide into 5 slices. After that, you have to place the name: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. No need to draw this aeroplane, this parachute, and all. Okay? The simple diagram should be there. A rectangle divided into 5 boxes. In that each box you have to write troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. Right? This diagram is going to be asked in the examination for 5 marks. For that purpose, it is very important. Please draw it and click the photograph and send me on my WhatsApp number so I can check your homework. Next, the atmosphere is composed mainly of nitrogen and oxygen, which makes up 99% of clean and dry air. In that, nitrogen is the highest percent, 78, and oxygen is 21, and rest 1% is other gases. In that, oxygen is the breath of life, while nitrogen helps in the growth of living organisms. Carbon dioxide through present in the minutes. A minute amount is important as to absorb the heat radiance by the earth, thereby keeping the planet warm. It is also essential for the growth of plants. Next, we are going to see the important part. Why the mountaineers are carrying the oxygen cylinder on their back. So, this figure number 5.5 are mountaineers, right? The density of atmosphere varies with the height. It is maximum at the sea level and decrease rapidly as we go up. The climber experience problem in breathing due to decrease in the density of air. That's why mountaineers always carry an oxygen cylinder on their back. They have to carry with them oxygen cylinder to be available to breathe at a high altitude. The temperature also decreases as we go up. The atmosphere exerts pressure on the earth and varies from place to place. Some areas experience high pressure and some areas are low pressure. Air moves from the high pressure to the low pressure. Moving of air is called as wind. So what is wind? How wind is moving? We have seen here. So air is moving from high pressure to the low pressure. And why mountaineers are carrying the oxygen cylinder for their breathing purpose? So the answer is in this paragraph. Next, can you please observe this? This picture is speaking about atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere. When these 3 spheres are connecting together, so the life is possible, and that sphere is going to be called as biosphere. Biosphere, the domain of life, right? So if we are going to speak about hydrosphere, so that it will come the domain of water. If we are placing atmosphere, so it will come the domain of air. Lithosphere, the domain of lands. The biosphere is the narrow zone of contact between land, water, air. It is the zone that life that is unique to the planet exists. There are several species, organisms, and that vary in size from microbes and bacteria to huge mammals, and all living beings, include humans, are linked to each other to the biosphere for their survival. Next, the organism in the biosphere may broadly be divided into plant kingdom and animal kingdom. As we are knowing about, plant kingdoms are denoted by the word flora and animal kingdom denoted by fauna. So, the natural vegetation and the wildlife we are seeing it. The three domains of the earth, they are hydrosphere, atmosphere and lithosphere, interact with each other and after affect other in some way or other. For example, cutting of forest for fulfilling our needs of wood, clearing land for agriculture may lead to the fast removal of the soil from the slope. And next, similarly, Earth's surface may be changed due to the natural calamities. That earthquake, for example, could be merged and happened in case of tsunami. So tsunami is the new word for you. So what is tsunami? So tsunami, when earthquake used to occur under the water, that terminology is called as tsunami. It was introduced in 2004. Part of Andaman and Nicobar Islands was submerged under the water when the tsunami was firstly occurred, the natural calamity, in 2004. And discharge of what waste material into the lakes, river and makes the water unsuitable for human use. That means this part is totally focusing on our responsibility. We should not exploit the water resources because water is very essential for our living purpose. Next, it is also damage all forms of the life which are living in water. That is industrial waste, vehicle pollution, pollution of air and so on. That increase the global temperature and have the terminology to form global warming. There is thus a need to limit the use of resources of the earth to maintain the balance of the nature between the domains of lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. So here the main responsibility of us to have our judgment of our need in a proper way. We should not exploit lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere so that in biosphere we can live happily. Next, here we have finished and few questions for you. So please make a note of it. The first question, answer the following question briefly. What are the four major domains of the earth? So just now in this presentation we have seen about the four major domains of the earth. So the answer is here for you. The major domains of the earth, lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere. How you are going to write the answer? From the question only you have to copy the half answer. The four major domains of the earth are lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. This four. If it is going to be reciprocal or you are writing biosphere up this down, no issue. Second question. Name the major continents of the earth. As we have seen about the continents, you have to write in a sequence wise. The major continents of the earth, Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. Okay? Moving towards the third question. Third question is speaking, name the two continents that lie entirely in the southern hemisphere. So as we have seen, so the answer is Australia and Antarctica. Both these continents are entirely lying in southern hemisphere. Next, name the different layers of atmosphere. Just now we have seen the different layers of atmosphere. So they are 5. According to that only you have to write the layers of atmosphere. And I told you to draw this diagram also. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. Right? Why is Earth called as a blue planet? Just now we have seen this answer. The Earth is called as a blue planet because the Earth is having 71% of water covered all over and 29% of land. Right? That's why it's look blue in color from the sky because of presence of water on it. Why there is northern hemisphere called as a land hemisphere? Because most of the land mass is present in northern hemisphere only. The northern hemisphere is called as the land hemisphere because the following reason: greater part of the land mass lies in the northern hemisphere. It is more than 70% of the total area, and water bodies are area is smaller in the hemisphere, only 30% of the total area of the northern hemisphere. Next, why is biosphere important for living organism? So, the important point for biosphere is supporting to sustain of all forms of life. Second, it provides food to them. Next, it provides stage to all forms of the life to act upon. Next, it should be pollution free because the pollution is injurious to life form. So that's why the life is possible. First you have to write about the importance of biosphere. Why biosphere is so important of us? Because the life supporting system is connected with here and life is possible. Next, we are going to see the tick the correct answer. In that, first the mountain range that separate Europe from Asia. So out of the first, second and third, which one is the correct? So the Ural is the correct answer. Second, the continent of the North America is linked to the South America by, so an isthmus is the correct answer. C, the major constituents of the atmosphere by percentage, nitrogen is there and that percentage is 78. The domain of the earth consists of solid rock, so the answer is the lithosphere. Next, last one, which is the largest continent? So Asia is the correct answer. So let's check out all the answers. You have to write like this. Okay? Question, its answer. Question, its answer. Question, its answer. Then question, its answer. Moving towards fill in the blanks. The deepest point of the earth is dashed in the Pacific Ocean. So Marina Trench is there. The dashed ocean is named after the country. So the answer is Indian Ocean. The dash is the narrow contact zone of the land, water and air that support life. So answer is biosphere. The next, the continent of Europe and Asia, but together then the word is there, that's Eurasia. And the highest mountain peak on the earth is Mount Everest. So please do this homework in your notebook properly. Fill in the blanks. Once again, please see the answer. The first Mariana Trench, Indian, Biosphere, Eurasia and Mount Everest. So finally, we have completed our chapter. In this chapter, we have seen the 4 major domains of the earth and each domain we have seen in a detailed way. The chapter is very easy, short and sweet. I request you, please read the chapter once more. If you feel still any doubt and difficulty, please let me know. I am ready to clarify your all doubts and difficulty. Lastly, whatever the exercise part I have shown to you, you have to write in notebook, click the photograph and send me on the WhatsApp, plus one diagram I have stated to you to draw in your notebook. Right? I thank you to each and everyone for watching this video. Till then, be safe and secure at your home. Jai Hind.